30 years. It's been 30 years since we've had Star Fox. Star Fox fans and YouTube, whatever, rise up, because I got something to say.
Supersonic style.
Fox here. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content and hit that notification bell to get notified on a new video. With that being said, enjoy the video.
It's been nearly 30 years since the 1993 release in February of Star Fox for the SNES was released. And what did Nintendo do for that release? Absolutely nothing. And I get it, you had other things to work on, you had a few Mario games that you're gonna work on, but even then, you still forgot the game that put the SNES on the map. The game that allowed 2D graphics to mix with 3D graphics, and 3D graphics to mix with 2D graphics, using the FX Super Chip. This Super Chip was very valuable back in the 90s, especially with Sega. And during the console wars, you had to have a really big successor. I'm not a quick critique when it comes down to gaming and all that chip and coding stuff, but something is telling me that the Super Chip and the FX system thingamajig started with Star Fox. I'm pretty sure Super Mario World started it first, since that was the more iconic video game at the time, along with Super Mario Kart, but I'm pretty sure Star Fox started up way first before Mario did it. Yoshi used the FX Super Chip as well. You could tell that 3D graphics and 2D graphics were mixing up, as well as you could tell with some of the boss fights that were using 3D animation. I'm not sure if it's actual 3D animation, but it was kind of it. Star Fox had games such as Star Fox 1, released in 1993 of February, and a sequel that unfortunately got scrapped until later in 2017 with the release of Star Fox 2. Then Star Fox 64 came out. It was very iconic, featuring a lot of our favorite characters in 3D animation. And at the time, it was a major W for Nintendo. And the Star Fox 64 was also around the same time and era as Super Smash Bros. Came out for the Nintendo 64. You know, the game that started it all. And without Smash 64, we wouldn't have Smash Ultimate right now. And without Mario 64, we wouldn't have good games such as Mario Odyssey. It's not the best Mario game of all time, but it sure was a good game at its time. Then we have releases of Rareware Studios with Star Fox Adventures, featuring the first ever Star Fox game to ever be playable. And it's the first Nintendo collab. Okay, let me rephrase that, because Banjo-Kazooie was a part of it, was a part of Rareware Studios, and it was released on the Nintendo 64, along at the same time as Conker's Bad Fur Day. This game was very mature for mature audiences. You can even tell it was rated M as they said it in the thing. Why did your parents just do that? Why? You knew what rated M stand for. Anyway, around the same time of the success of the N64, Nintendo wanted to improve on the N64 and make it 10 times as better with the release of the Nintendo GameCube, releasing at the same time as new games such as Pikmin, Super Mario Sunshine, games such as Super Smash Bros. Melee, a very iconic game and still is to this day, and two Star Fox games, that being Star Fox Adventures and Star Fox Assault. Star Fox Adventures was critically acclaimed as quote-unquote the worst Star Fox game of all time. Same thing with Star Fox Assault. However, Assault seemingly started to become quote-unquote the most underrated one, as that game was more talked about rather than Adventures. A lot of people have claimed Star Fox Adventures to be as a Legends of Zelda ripoff, But did you know back in the day, it was actually a prototype for this game. Star Fox Adventures was originally supposed to be called Dinosaur Planet. Crystal, the one that we currently know, her design was a little different from the one we have in today's standards. You see, around the same time, Dinosaur Planet was supposed to originally be released on the Nintendo 64, and thankfully to a group of fans and fans of the Star Fox community, they were able to make an actual game prototype of what the game could have been on the N64. And you could actually play Dinosaur Planet, the beta version of the game, on the N64 console, which is pretty amazing. Now back on Star Fox Adventures. In my opinion, I'm pretty sure I didn't get the GameCube. Now I'm going to be honest with you in there. However, thankfully, thanks to the Wii with the backwards compatibility, you're able to play GameCube games, since the Wii was exclusively around with the GameCube. And so you were able to play GameCube games such as some of the games on Mario Party, Mario Power Tennis, which I got the Wii exclusive release, and probably one of the most popular ones had the Nintendo Selects version. Mario Galaxy was probably a GameCube exclusive. I'm not sure if it was. Star Fox Adventures. Personally, I was able to get a copy of Star Fox Adventures. I didn't know what I did with it. I only had a few games. All of the GameCube. Unfortunately, I thought I had a Star Fox Adventures copy, but I didn't. I looked into my shelves and I didn't have any data revolving it. I had the Wii, yeah, but unfortunately my grandmother sold it to Goodwill, unfortunately. However, they didn't stop me from looking for a copy of the game. I tried looking on stores to see if I can get a copy of the game just to collect it, and since my grandma sold my Wii, I couldn't play it. So, I emulated it. I know it's wrong from Nintendo's perspective, but I had no choice. I lost my Wii due to my grandma's poor decisions, and I had no choice but to emulate the game. Now, piracy is wrong. It's illegal in many states, exclusively, especially in Japan. Emulation can be a bad thing, but it's a good thing as well. It can probably help people learn coding skills and stuff like that. I mean, you saw with this one person, you saw what Ray-san did with Sonic Free Riders with the Node Connect patch. It took one person in a couple of years, if not more, to make a Connect patch to this game. Free Riders was already going to die. And now people are finally realizing what this game could have been if it was on controller. Now, aside from Sonic games and all of that aside, Star Fox Adventures was actually a well-made game. Sure, it could have been the best, and sure, Nintendo was going for the fanfic route, where people would just ship characters with different characters. I think that's what they were going with. But it is still a good game. Sure, it had a lot of flaws and had a lot of glitches. And I was able to emulate the game on my phone. Okay, I'm lying. I had an Android tablet before I had an Android phone. And I was able to play it on my Android tablet. The game actually ran and worked really well. I was able to play a couple of the levels before I kind of ran out of battery. I finally got to the last level, and I gotta say, the game was good. It's not the greatest, but it's good. Now, Star Fox Assault. You probably see me on YouTube or TikTok showing pictures or edits or memes and stuff like that about Star Fox Assault. This is probably one of my most popular, and this is probably one of the most popular Star Fox games on the GameCube, being Star Fox Adventures right out the water. Now, this game is not the best. Not all Star Fox games are the best. Some of them have a lot of flaws. The same issue goes with Sonic. He has some flawed games, but they had a lot of potential that was poorly executed. And Star Fox Assault is one of those games. The game took an approach, instead of being more of a fanfic route and going Zelda, they decided to go back to the roots of the original SNES and use gameplay features that were not exclusively originally on the Star Fox 64 game. Sure, you can fly in the R-Wings, but at the same time you also are able to fly in the Landmaster. You were also able to shoot on foot. And that is something that never happened in the N64 version or the SNES. And that was the main highlight of the game. The storyline was actually really well made. Sure, it could have had flaws, but it had a lot of potential, being probably one of the most iconic Star Fox games and Star Fox stories of all time. The characters were I like the character designs, especially for Fox. They did it, whoever was in the studio making Fox's design and every character design, I want to give props to you guys for doing really well on that. You really did capture what Star Fox would look like if you'd grown up to be more of instead of a cocky character, to more of a mature character. And heck, he was mature through the entire game. Sure, he had some cocky moments, but he was able to take that cockiness and put it into full gear by being more mature and not only looking out for his team, but looking out for himself, making sure that everything was aligned. Instead of Peppy being the right-on man trying to keep the glue together, he decided to take his place of being what James McCullough called a really good son. Then we went into Star Fox Command with the release of the Nintendo DS. Around the same time, the Nintendo DS had releases such as Mario Kart DS and New Super Mario Bros. The first New Super Mario Bros., the game that started it all, and had a couple of Zelda games and a lot of Pokemon games due to the popularity of Pokemon. And this is also the same year of Nintendo for the first time using the stylus trend, where mobiles or companies will use stylus to allow players or consumers to easily tap easier ways. Forgive me if I'm stuttering, I'm trying to eat something and I'm really hungry. Aside from food and hunger aside, Star Fox Command was released. It wasn't good. It really wasn't good. It could have been a really good game if Nintendo executed it properly, but one thing I really liked was when you could choose endings. You had endings for Team Star Fox and Team Star Wolf. One ending I really liked for sure was the Fox and Crystal ending. I forgot how you can get the ending, but one thing I liked is the fact that Crystal and Fox were able to have a child named Marcus McCloud, which would eventually, years later, have a new Star Fox team for the next generation. And Falco was the main leader. Let's go! Peppy and Slippy also had some children as well. I forgot the names of the characters. How am I a Star Fox fan, but if I don't know the names of those Slippy and Peppy's children? I'm sorry. I'm sorry to all the Slippy and Peppy fans if I don't know the name of their children. I do know. I think Peppy's daughter's name is Vivian. Forgive me if I'm wrong. Piper Hare. I need to look it up somehow, but I'll do it. I'll look up Slippy's son's name too. I do know Marcus McCloud because I've looked up some research. Then we worked in years. As the years went by, 2014 to 2015 rolled around the new release of the Nintendo Wii U. The Wii U had its flaws, but it was a really good console. And around that same year, Nintendo released the next new thing for Star Fox, with the release of Star Fox Zero and Star Fox Guard. The game sucked. Well, I'm not going to say it sucked, because I have Confused with Fox, a YouTube content creator that I have, who likes the game, apparently. She's a really good content creator. You need to go check her out, and check Lily McLeod out, and N64 Bros. They have a lot of good opinions on franchises outside of Star Fox. Check out N64 Bros as well. He does a really good job of stating opinions. And he has really good ones too. Aside from shoutouts aside, Star Fox Zero was released. It wasn't a really well received game. In fact, the Wii U players seemingly started to hate on it, saying, "Oh, the controls suck. I don't like the controls." Well, big deal, bitch. We had issues with the Secret Rings games. And you didn't see me complaining when I first got the copy of the game. No lie, I actually love Secret Rings, and I love Black Knight. Sure, I didn't get Black Knight when it officially released, or when I get the full copy of it, but when I had an Android tablet, I was able to emulate Sonic into Black Knight in what could have been a really great Sonic game. Sure, the gameplay wasn't good due to the Wii controls, but I was able to master the control of the messy Wii. And honestly, it wasn't the controls of the Secret Rings of Black Knight that kind of made it quote-unquote bad. If you think about it, the Nintendo Wii had a lot of flaws and issues, and one of those flaws was the Nintendo Wii. How you had to get a Wii sensor bar to just point the controller to the damn TV. Literally, I had issues with this problem too. Heck, even without the Wii sensor bar, I had issues with this shit. So it wasn't the Secret Rings and Black Knight that had issues. Basically, it's just y'all having... I just think it's a skill issue. It's your fault that you had probably an issue playing those games. Now, aside from Sonic aside, and Star Fox Zero wasn't well received, Nintendo at the time wanted to remaster some games of Star Fox. We had the choice to... Nintendo probably has made a poll stating to what Star Fox games you want remastered. Could it be the original SNES? Could it be the N64 game? Could it be Star Fox Adventures in Assault, Command, or Star Fox Zero? Yep. It's Star Fox Zero. I'm guessing Nintendo made that decision because I'm pretty sure a lot of people wanted the GameCube titles to be remastered. And while I didn't want the N64 version to be remastered, Nintendo will already beat me to it with Star Fox 64 3D. And that was a really good remaster. Remastering everything and taking every flaw and aspect of the original and making it completely better. Sure, it may have had some flaws that were in the original game still, but even then, this game still was good. Now, to Star Fox 6-0, I meant to say. With the new DLC of Starlink Battle for Atlas that came out. It had the Star Fox DLC. It didn't do well. It's still Star Fox Zero, but 2 times as worse as the original counterpart. And that's pretty much it. We haven't seen a lot from Star Fox after the release of Zero. And I just think that that's some utter bullshit. You had every right, you had the time and effort to make Mario games, and Pokemon games, and Zelda games. And I'm not to disrespect on Pokemon, Zelda, or Mario. They are really good franchises. Mario is one of those franchises I grew up with the most, along with Sonic and Smash Brothers. So I have no issues with those intellectual properties of Nintendo. But I need to realize that Nintendo was originally made in Japan, and so votings and ratings and games and stuff like that are probably a lot different as they are here in America. But it doesn't give you the right at the fact that we have 8 Fire Emblem characters and only 3 Star Fox characters, that being Fox, Falcon, and Wolf. We don't have Crystal. Oh, she's an assist trophy. We don't have Slippy. We don't have Peppy. We don't even have a new game. You don't even have a new movie. Okay, that could change with the release of the Mario movie being successful. And since Nintendo has worked on the Mario movie and did really well in it, I actually like the Mario movie. I think it's really good. I think it's safe to say that since Nintendo wanted to do a cinematic universe, we could be in for a treat. Zelda movie is being quote unquote in the works. So Nintendo wanted to work on different movies. Star Fox could be one of those movies. If not a movie or a show. Long story short, Star Fox needs to come back. It's been too long since we haven't seen him at the release of Zero. And I'm thankful that we have a lot of channels like Confuso Fox and Lily McLeod making content for Star Fox. And many other channels that I probably can't think of the name in my head right now. And I thank you guys for at least trying to give this series some praise still. A Fox in Space just released a new episode that was released. And one thing I like about that, it took every aspect of the original games and made it into a full-fledged show. It takes a while for them to make episodes due to time restraints and probably due to copyright laws of Nintendo, but hey, give us some props and give them a huge shout out for at least trying to make something good for a change. I want to let me know in the comments down below, are you a Star Fox fan? Are you a fan of this series? Do you want this series to come back? And if you are, let me know in the comments down below. And please subscribe to me if you can. I really want to see how many Star Fox fans that are here in or out of YouTube. If you know Star Fox because of Star Fox Zero, or you knew him from the 64 era, or the GameCube era, or even when the game started back in 1983, let me know in the comments down below if you are a fan of this series. We need to do everything we can in our power to make sure this series is still loved and never forgotten. Because if Nintendo can make a Fire Emblem game, they can most definitely do something about Star Fox. Anyway, thank you guys and have a good day.